Alright, looking at our first opponent, Dr. No Scopes has Kingdra, Medicham, double flyers with Tropius and Altaria, a Blastoise, and a Magneton. Looking at my team, I have a Alolan Marowak, a Defense Form Deoxys, Azumarill, Skarmory, Probopass, and Lanoon. So I'm trying a few new things this time. On the left side, that's my trainer name there, I'm going to be posting my team, and on the right side will be my opponent's team. Hopefully this helps to give us more of a bird's eye view of how this game is going. Obviously, in these matches, I don't know what they're going to lead with or have in the back. This is all kind of after the fact. But getting into this match, I open Defense Form Deoxys, he opens Altaria. Now I have Rock Slide and Thunderbolt on my Deoxys. I thought that Psycho Boost was something I could go without, just looking at the Sims, in particular Azumarill and the Flyers. But I realize now that I need that Psycho Boost for the Ghost types and Venusaur. I get off another Rock Slide here, attempting to take down that Altaria, and we do. So we get Switch Move priority, he brings in Tropius. I'm not able to get to another Rock Slide, and I'm in a bit of trouble here because I don't have a good counter for this second Flyer. I'm sure Dr. No Scopes looked at my team and saw that I was weak to flying types, and that's why he chose the composition that he did. I'm all out of shields, but luckily Alolan Marowak is very tanky. It can take this Leaf Blade. He's able to fire off another Leaf Blade, and I'm able to get to that Shadow Ball before a third Leaf Blade comes out. The Shadow Ball does good damage, but it's not enough to bring it down. He fast moves me down right when I'm going to get a Bone Club, and then he's got a charge move ready for my Lanoon. Lanoon absorbs that, being a normal typing, but he's got another one in the bank already. Facing Tropius is always such a challenge because it charges so quickly. In comes Medicham, and I know that this game is all but over. Going right into round 2, I decide to lead Defense Form Deoxys. I have Skarmory and Azumarill in the back. He opens with Tropius. I like this matchup because my Rock Slide is going to do super effective damage against the Grass and Flying type that is Tropius. He gets off a charge move, which is Leaf Blade. It does minimal damage, and I fire off a Rock Slide in return. We land the Rock Slide, and I get in a couple fast moves anticipating the Leaf Blade, and we time it perfectly with Skarmory. Skarmory takes that no problem, and we're going to farm down this Tropius. As Battle Hero would like to say, this is a very farmable matchup. Now we have a Sky Attack ready for whatever comes in, which is Kingdra. This is another good matchup for Skarmory because its Steel typing is going to resist that Dragon Breath. Normally it would melt just about anything else, but Skarmory actually has a very good shot at taking down this Kingdra. I have 2 shields in the bank, he has 1. I'm going to burn my first shield here, and he fires an Outrage. I am going to have to defend the Outrage just because it does such massive damage. And in comes Medicham. I'm going to fire off my best move against this Medicham because I know my health is low, and I'm going to go for a fast swap into Azumarill. Azumarill is a perfect counter for Medicham, so I know that this match is just about concluded. I'm going to defend this power-up punch just to be safe and fire off a Play Rough to end the match. And a couple more bubbles too. GG's Dr. No Scopes. Going into round 3, I lead Lanoon. I've got Skarmory and Azumarill in the back. Dr. No Scopes leads with Tropius yet again. This is not a good matchup for Lanoon, so I go into a fast swap into Skarmory, and we time that Leaf Blade yet again. However, he's prepared this time. He brings in Legacy Magneton. My Skarmory is about to get fried. Discharge hurts like you know what, and I almost get to a Sky Attack, but the lag prevents it. Don't think that would have made much of a difference. I have a Lanoon though, and Lanoon knows Dig, and the Dig is going to tear apart this Magneton if we can land one. He shields the first, he fires off a Discharge, and I shield in return, and he gets another Discharge. We have to burn our second shield. Lanoon's our best shot. I'm trying to get to this Dig here, but he fires off a third Discharge. Just barely within inches of our life, we are able to fire off the Dig and take down Magneton. But we've spent so many resources on Magneton, we are in really bad shape. In comes Medicham. I know he's got the Tropius in the back, and I've got 1 Azumarill with no shields, and he has 1 shield. I have to go for the shield bait here. I fire off an Ice Beam, and it works. I figure if I can farm up this Medicham as much as possible, it gives me my best shot at taking down it and the Tropius that's behind it. We take another power-up punch here. I'm going to continue to farm, but those counters are starting to hurt. I fire off my Play Rough, and we take down the Medicham. Out comes Tropius. Here comes an Ice Beam. And it's not enough. He fires off a Leaf Blade to finish off our Azumarill, and Dr. No Scopes wins a Nail Biter. GG's. Very, very well played. Our next opponent is Vizu or Kumarian, and I didn't realize this at first, but he has an all shiny flex squad, so let's see how we do. For round 1, I decide to lead with Skarmory. I have Lanoon and Azumarill in the back. He decides to lead with Charizard. I gotta switch out of there real quick, and I go into my Azumarill. In comes shiny flex Azumarill. It's like a mirror, but he's better looking, right? So I fire off a Play Rough and we land it. He's going to return the favor with a Play Rough of his own. I'm going to try to get the Shield Bait here with an Ice Beam, and we do. I'm going to shield this, knowing that it's going to be a Play Rough, and then I'm going to try to fire off one of my own. We're both down to 1 shield each, and I land one. So I'm looking at my switch, and I'm not sure if I should get out of there or not. I decide to stay in. In comes a Play Rough, and we are both very weak. I fire off a Play Rough because I know I have to finish off this Azumarill, and he shields it. So he's going to bubble down my Azumarill, and I have Lanoon and Skarmory ready to go. He fires off a Play Rough against Lanoon. I decide to shield it. Now we're both down to no shields and 2 Pokemon each. In comes Fortress. I'm not sure if he knows that Lanoon has Dig, so I'm going to use it. And it does very, very good damage against Fortress, and I bring in Skarmory. It's going to hit us with a Rock Tomb, but we're able to survive that. And out comes Charizard again. Now, you would think because of the fire typing versus the steel that it would really hurt, and that Blast Burn does, but Skarmory can actually win that matchup sometimes. He fires off a Dragon Claw against Lanoon. I'm going to try to take down this Charizard with a Grass Knot. And I have a little bit of energy. Here comes one more Grass Knot to try to finish the Fortress. And it's not enough. Another Nail Biter loss. But that's okay. We're moving on to round 2. I go in with Deoxys, Skarmory, and Azumarill. Kumarian opens Shiny Flex Fortress. Now those Bug Bites are going to hurt this Deoxys, but the counters are going to hurt as well. I decide to stay in and try for a Rock Slide here. He decides to shield the Rock Slide, and I make a switch into Skarmory. Skarmory's going to take on his shiny Charizard. I'm going to fire off the Sky Attack here. And he's not going to, or he is going to block it, excuse me. And we're going to do a few fast moves, and then I put up a shield because I know the Blast Burn is coming and he's going for the Knockout Punch. I'm able to piggyback, and I fire off a Sky Attack to take down that Charizard. Out comes Fortress. It has energy stored. I decide to block this Rock Tomb because I know Skarmory has a positive matchup and can take down the Fortress before it gets another Rock Tomb. And we're able to do almost just that, but he has just enough energy to fire off one more Rock Tomb. I feel pretty confident at this point. I have a pretty healthy Deoxys and an Azumarill in the back, and out comes his own Azumarill. I'm going to fire off this Thunderbolt. We just can't allow Azumarill to farm our Deoxys. So as long as he expends his energy, we will be in good shape. I make a swap, or I try to swap into Azumarill, but Deoxys goes down. Probably could have fired off that Rock Slide, but that's okay. He fires off a Play Rough, and I return the favor with a Play Rough, and that's how we take round 2. GG's Kumarian. Going to the third and final round, I decide to open Azumarill. I have Skarmory and Defense Deoxys in the back. He opens Shiny Flex Alolan Raichu. I do not like this matchup and I want to get out, but he gets off a charge move that fast. I know it's Thunder Punch, but it still hurts Azumarill pretty badly. I'm going to go for the Play Rough, hoping to damage that Psychic typing, and he shields. I make a swap into Defense Deoxys. Another Thunder Punch, and that Raichu is just so spammy. Out comes Fortress. We know the counters and the Rock Slides are the key, but those Bug Bites are still going to hurt all the same, so we're going to try to get off as many of those Rock Slides as we possibly can. He gets off a charge move of his own, and it turns out to be Rock Tomb. I'm going to try to use some more counters, and we just barely get to one more Rock Slide. We take down that Fortress, and now it's 3 to 2. Out comes Azumarill. I have my own Azumarill and a Skarmory. I decide to go for the mirror match here, even though Azumarill is weak. I shield this Play Rough here. I was trying to swap, but I was too late, and then I go into Skarmory. He comes out with Raichu. I'm going to Sky Attack this Raichu and try to take it down, and we almost get there. Just one more Air Slash does the trick. Out comes Azumarill. He gets off a charge move first, and it's Play Rough. Now, Kumarian had a couple of chances to win this game, and I think that was one of them. He definitely should have fired the Ice Beam, as it would have done much more damage to Skarmory. In comes another charge move, and it's Ice Beam. The right move that time. I bring in my Azumarill. I try to bubble down to get him within range of KO, and I fire off a Play Rough. and we win round 3. My third opponent is Naimo, or Jorge. He's a really good guy. I love battling him. He always brings interesting team comps, as you've just seen there. He's got a Frostlass and a Poliwrath. It's real crazy out here. I open Lanoon, he opens Poliwrath with Mud Shot, so I know those power punches are coming. Lanoon's normal typing is going to take a wallop from those punches, even the first one, but I've got a Grass Knot. I fire off Grass Knot and he does not shield. Really lucky break there for me. I'm going to defend the second power punch because it would take down Lanoon, and we're able to fast move him down with Shadow Claw. Out comes Frostlass. I look at my options here. I know I have a Fairy typing that I can use against his Ghost, and the Ice type Avalanche is not going to do much damage to Azumarill, so I bring in Azu. He goes for a Shadow Ball. I'm not going to defend that one, and I go for a Ice Beam to get the shield bait, which I do. Those Powder Snows aren't doing very much, so I'm going to try to keep Azumarill in the game here. I defend the Shadow Ball, and then I go for I actually am able to fast move it down. And then I hit this Venusaur with a Play Rough. Now this was a mistake on my part. I should have fired off the Ice Beam regardless of the shield situation, but I'm lucky, I'm fortunate, I'm able to get to another Ice Beam, and we really start to hurt that Venusaur. I decide to bring in Defense Form Deoxys. He's going to hit me with a Sludge Bomb. That probably should have been a Frenzy Plant just because it charges quickly and it does more damage, and he does the right thing the second time and takes down my Deoxys. Either way, Lanoon comes out with the win. Going into round 2, I open Defense Form Deoxys, he opens Poliwrath again. So he makes a fast switch into Venusaur. He knows that Venusaur is a good counter to Deoxys, and I switch into Lanoon. Probably not the best switch. I might have been able to stay in, but we're going to see how this plays out. He fires off a Sludge Bomb against Lanoon, and I get a Dig. He's smart though, and he defends that Dig. I almost get to another Grass Knot or another charge move in Grass Knot, but I don't quite make it. Now I have a Deoxys and I have an Azumarill. I'm not going to bring in my Azumarill against a Venusaur with energy, so I decide to go with Deoxys. He's able to get off 2 Frenzy Plants, and that hurts. I'm going to try to counter him down, but I get nervous and I fire off a Rock Slide just because I need to get this Venusaur off the field, and a few more counters do the trick. I have a Thunderbolt ready to go, so I fire off this Thunderbolt, and it's Lantern. At this point, I'm in really, really bad shape. I bring out Azumarill, and I know that the Play Rough will do a lot of damage, but I'm not sure how this match is going to end. He hits Azumarill with a big Thunder. Fortunately, we're able to survive it. I'm going to farm him up as much as I can, and I fire off a Play Rough. We take down that Lantern, and out comes Poliwrath, but he gets his charge move first, and the Power Punch knocks us out of the match. Going into round 3, I open with Skarmory. I've got Lanoon and Defense Deoxys behind it. Out comes Venusaur. This is a perfect matchup for me. I'm going to Air Slash this Venusaur. I'm really surprised that Naimo didn't swap out. I think that would have been the right move there. He hits us with a Frenzy Plant, and we return the favor with the Sky Attack. He defends the Sky Attack, but Venusaur is going down fast. He gets out another Frenzy Plant, Sludge Bomb, and I'm going to just absorb that. Out comes Lantern. I go into Lanoon. I know these Grass Knots come quick, and they can do a lot of damage to Lantern if it stays in. And because he's switch locked, I'm feeling really confident about this. I have 2 shields to none. I burn the first one on this Hydro Pump, and then I go for another Grass Knot here. The Grass Knot does massive damage to that bulky Lantern and takes it down. He's got 0 shields, and I'm rolling with these Grass Knots. I hit Poliwrath with 1, and then in comes a charge attack. It is Ice Punch. I am going to shield that, and I'm going to fire off another Grass Knot to finish off this Poliwrath. Out comes Venusaur. It's very weak, and Lanoon carries the team. GG's, Jorge. I had a very, very good time battling you. Can't wait to see you again, man. Going into the 4th and final round of the freestyle tournament in Ybor, we face off against Dark Ninja Shark. So Dark Ninja Shark has a Venusaur, Altaria, Mantine, Magneton, Hypno, and Quagsire. Definitely one of the more challenging team comps that I saw at this competition, and I really wasn't sure how this was going to turn out. Going into round 1, I decide to lead with a Alolan Marowak. I know Alolan Marowak is the best option I have against that Legacy Magneton, and I expected her to run it first, but instead she goes in with Quagsire. I timed this charge move, and I block the Earthquake with Lanoon. I'm going to try to get to these Grass Knots here, but she gets off another charge move, which is Stone Edge. I absorb that and fire off a Grass Knot. Grass Knot does massive damage to that Quagsire and it falls. She is going to come in now with Hypno. Hypno is a psychic type. I'm going to fire off this Grass Knot just to get some chip damage in before Lanoon falls, and I actually get a shield instead, which is even better. Hypno's got a lot of energy. I'm going to decide to go in here with Skarmory because I do not want that Shadow Ball to hit my Alola Marowak. I defend this Shadow Ball, and we make a swap at the same time, and I go into Alola Marowak, and she goes into Altaria. I fire off a Shadow Ball. It does good damage. I'm able to get to a second Shadow Ball, but she shields it. She's going to use a charge move, and it is Sky Attack. Alola Marowak is barely hanging on, and it falls, and I decide to bring in Skarmory. I farm up a little bit. I know I can take the Sky Attack, so I do. A few more Air Slashes here. I can even take one more Sky Attack if I have to, and then I'm going to unleash all this energy on this Hypno. 2 Sky Attacks do the trick, and Hypno falls. We're able to take round 1 against Dark Ninja Shark. GG's. For the second round, I'm going to lead Probopass. I have Skarmory behind it and Alola Marowak in the back. She leads Quagsire again, so this is a nightmare matchup for me. I'm going to farm some energy, try to time this as good as I can, and I bring in Alola Marowak. I make a big mistake here, and I should have shielded. Now my Marowak is at a significant health disadvantage. Here I probably should have gone for the Shadow Ball, knowing that she would shield anyway. I'm going to decide to shield my Alola Marowak. I am hanging on to this guy. I'm able to get to one more Bone Club before it falls, and it just does minor damage. I don't have a good option here at all. I have 2 things that are weak to Quagsire, but at least Probopass has energy. I'm going to defend this Earthquake, charge up a little bit more. She decides to switch into Altaria, which is great for me. This is perfect. I'm ecstatic about it. I fire off 2 Thunderbolts back to back almost. We land 1, but it's not enough to dent that Altaria. Altaria's going to fire off a Sky Attack. Probopass eats that for lunch, as Purple Kyogre would say, and here comes a Thunderbolt from me. That Altaria has about a fifth of its health, maybe less. I bring in Skarmory. She fires off a Dragon Pulse against Skarmory, and we're able to Air Slash it down. It's Skarmory against the world here, and let's see what happens. In comes Legacy Magneton. At this point, it is GG's. Very, very well played. That was the big fear that I had, and because Alola Marowak was out of the way, Magneton fried us. This is the third and final round against Dark Ninja Shark. I decide to lead Defense Form Deoxys. She leads Venusaur. In the back, I have Lanoon and Marowak. She decides to make a quick switch, and I think this was her critical mistake, that Venusaur could really give my Deoxys a run for its money, and these counters are really just hammering this Magneton. I switch out into Alola Marowak to absorb this discharge and keep my Deoxys healthy. I'm at a significant advantage here, and I know it. In comes Quagsire, though. This is a familiar matchup. I go for the Shadow Ball here. She decides to shield, and I'm not going to protect this Marowak. It's done a great job, and I know that I have better counters in the back. I bring in Lanoon here, and I'm sure she remembers the Grass Knot. I'm going to go for it again, but she gets to a charge move first. I decide to shield this Earthquake, and I fire off a Grass Knot. She shields my Grass Knot, and I think I can get to one more, but she switches into Venusaur. I switch into Deoxys, and I hit that Venusaur with a Rock Slide. I actually have enough energy for 2, so I fire them off back to back, and that Venusaur is all but done, but it fires off a Frenzy Plant. Deoxys is still standing though, and out comes the last Pokemon, which is Quag. Quag takes down Deoxys with a Stone Edge, but I have Lanoon with Grass Knot ready in the back. Guys, these Ybor Freestyle tournaments are so much fun. I really encourage you to come out. Check the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, please subscribe, and more videos are on the way. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.